We tried for a baby for 3 years, and then I saw 2 lines. We were pregnant. Finally. My husband looked at the test and said, "This is impossible. I had a vasectomy 3 years ago." I realized this man had betrayed my trust so deeply that the marriage could no longer be saved. My name, let's call me Sarah, and I'm 32 years old. I live in Charlotte, North Carolina. I've been married for 8 years to a man I'll call Daniel. This is a story about betrayal that destroyed a marriage, and about whether 3 years of lies can be forgiven. Daniel and I met 9 years ago at work. He was an engineer, and I was a project manager at the same company. We got married after dating for a year. A typical wedding, a happy young couple. For the first 3 years of marriage, we lived for ourselves. We built our careers, traveled, and saved for a house. On our 5th wedding anniversary, we discussed the future. "I think it's time," I said. "I'm almost 30. I want a baby." Daniel nodded. "Yes, I guess it's time. Let's try." I was so happy. We started trying. We stopped using birth control, had sex regularly, and I downloaded an ovulation tracking app. The first month, a negative test. "It's nothing to worry about," the doctor said. "It's normal." The second month, negative again. I started to worry. The 3rd, 4th, 5th month, nothing. I went to the gynecologist. I had all the tests done, hormones, an ultrasound, a tubal check. "Everything's normal," the doctor said. "You're healthy. Just keep trying. Sometimes it takes time." A year passed. Nothing. I went to the doctor again. Now more serious tests, hormone therapy. "Daniel, maybe you should get tested too," I suggested. "Let's finish your treatment first," he replied. "The doctor said women have more problems." I agreed. I thought he was right. Another year of hormones, procedures, hopes, and disappointments. 3rd year of trying. I was exhausted physically and emotionally. Every month, hope, then a test. 1 line. Tears. Daniel hugged me. "Don't give up. Everything will work out. It just takes time." I blamed myself. I thought something was wrong with me. It happened last week. I woke up feeling nauseous. I thought it was food poisoning. But the nausea continued for several days in a row. My breasts hurt. I was constantly tired. My period was a week late. I didn't want to get my hopes up. I'd hoped and been disappointed too many times. But I decided to get a test, just to rule it out. 2 lines. I didn't believe it. I took a second test. 2 lines. Third test. 2 lines. I was pregnant. After 3 years of trying. After all the tears, procedures, disappointments. I screamed with joy. I jumped around the apartment. I cried. Daniel was at work. I couldn't wait. I went to his office. I ran in with 3 tests in my hands. "Daniel, 2 strips. We're pregnant. Finally." My colleagues around me started clapping and congratulating me. But Daniel wasn't smiling. He looked at the tests. His face was as white as chalk. "We need to talk," he said quietly. "Alone." We went outside. I was still smiling, confused by his reaction. "Daniel, what happened? Aren't you happy?" He looked at the ground, silent. "Daniel? Sarah, I had a vasectomy 3 years ago." The world stopped. "What?" "A vasectomy. I sterilized myself 3 years ago." I couldn't understand the words. "You... what? When? Why?" "Right after we started trying. I realized I didn't want kids, never wanted them. But I couldn't tell you." Tears of happiness instantly turned to tears of rage. 3 years! 3 years of suffering! I thought something was wrong with me. I took hormones. I went to doctors. I'm sorry. I'm sorry? You watched how I suffered, how I cry every month. People on the street turned their heads. I didn't know how to say it. I was afraid you'd leave. And now what? I'm pregnant. How is that possible if you're sterilized? Daniel turned even paler. I don't know. A vasectomy should work. So you think I cheated? That's it? No, I don't. I just don't understand. I turned around and left. I couldn't stand being around him. I made Daniel give a semen analysis the next day. The results came back 2 days later. Sperm count, 45 million per milliliter motility. Normal conclusion, recanalization of the vas deferens. Vasectomy ineffective. The doctor explained, it's rare, but it does happen. In about 1 in 1,000 to 2,000 cases, the ducts heal on their own. It's called recanalization. The patient is fertile again. Daniel was shocked. But I had a checkup after the surgery. There were 0 sperm. When were you checked? 3 months after the surgery. Recanalization could have happened later. A year, 2. You should have had checkups every year. So Daniel could have had children in the last year or 2. He didn't know it. And I accidentally got pregnant. The baby was his, biologically. But emotionally, I didn't know if I could forgive. We returned home after getting the results. I was pregnant by my husband. I should have been happy. But instead of joy, I felt only anger. Sarah, let's talk calmly, Daniel began. Calm? You've watched me for 3 years as I disorder. I know I acted terribly. Terrible! That's not just terrible. You betrayed me. You made me hope, try, suffer, knowing it was pointless. I was afraid to tell you, afraid of losing you. And you thought lying was better? That watching me suffer was better? Daniel cried. I didn't think it would be so long. I thought you'd forget about children in 6 months or a year. Stop wanting them. Forget? Are you serious? I hoped. I didn't know you'd get so fixated. Obsessed? That's not obsession. It's a maternal instinct. It's my right to want a child. I know. You stole 3 years from me. 3 years when we could have adopted, when we could have had an honest discussion, when I could choose to be with you childless or to find someone who wants a family. I'm sorry, please, I'm sorry. You didn't want children? Then you should have told you before the wedding, before I tied the knot with you. I thought I could. I thought I'd want to eventually. But the closer it got, the more I realized I wasn't ready. And instead of being honest, you secretly got sterilized? Silence. Get out, I said quietly. What? Get out of the house. I can't be around you. Daniel packed his things and left for a friend's that same night. I was left alone, pregnant, angry, betrayed. Daniel moved in with a friend. I was left alone in the house. I called my mom. I told her everything. Oh my God, Sarah. She was shocked. How could he? I don't know what to do, Mom. I'm pregnant. His baby. But I'm so angry. So hurt. You have a right to be angry. This is a terrible betrayal. Everyone says, but you wanted a child, now you'll have one, be happy. But I can't. Because this isn't just about the baby. It's about trust. He watched you suffer for 3 years and kept silent. Yes, I cried. Every test, every doctor's appointment, every tear, he knew it was pointless. And he kept silent. What do you want to do? Divorce. I want a divorce. Mom sighed. Are you sure? The baby is growing inside you. His child. He didn't want this child. The child is the result of a medical accident, recanalization, not his desire. Maybe you should give him a chance. People change. 3 years of lies, Mom. How can I trust him? There were no easy answers. Daniel's parents also called, begging for a chance. His mother, let's call her Linda, cried into the phone. He made a mistake, Sarah, but he loves you. Love doesn't look like 3 years of deception. He's young. He got scared. He didn't think about the consequences. He's 34, not 18. His father, let's call him Robert, was more direct. Sarah, I understand your pain, but the child needs a father. Give Daniel a chance to improve. The child needs an honest father. and Daniel has shown he can lie for years. But I didn't listen to anyone. The decision was made. A week later, I went to a lawyer and filed for divorce. Daniel received the notice in the mail. He came home that same evening. He stood at the door. "Sarah, please, don't do this. You did it, 3 years ago, when you chose to lie. I'll change. I want this child. The truth. You want it now, when you have no choice, when recanalization happened against your will. No, I've changed my mind. I've been thinking for the last few days, and I realized I want to be a father. I want a family." "The last few days? And what about the previous 3 years? I was selfish, I know, but now I see. I want this child. I want us. It's too late. Sarah, please, give me a chance. You stole 3 years from me. I won't let you steal the rest of my life." I closed the door in his face. I heard him standing outside the door for another half hour, crying, begging. I didn't open the door. Daniel didn't give in. He texted me every day. Long messages. "I've made an appointment with a psychologist. I want to understand why I did what I did. I want to change. I'm reading books about parenting. I want to be prepared. I want to be a good father. Sarah, I love you. I love our child. Give me a chance to prove it." He sent flowers every week. My favorites are white roses. He ordered gifts for the unborn child, baby clothes, toys, nursery furniture. Everything came with a note. "For our baby. Love, Dad." He came to the house. He stood at the door and knocked. "Sarah, I know you're inside. Please talk to me." I didn't open the door. He left notes under the door. "I understand that I betrayed you. I understand that 3 years is unforgivable. But I want to spend the next 30 years righting that wrong. Please." I started seeing a psychologist 3 times a week. I'm working through my fears. I understand why I lied. I want to be a better person. I signed up as a volunteer at a children's center. I work with children on weekends. I'm learning to be the father our child deserves. My friend, let's call her Jessica, said, "Maybe you should give him a chance. He's really trying." He's trying now, after he was caught. That's not genuine remorse. But a child needs a father. A child needs an honest father. And Daniel has shown he can lie for years. But inside, I hesitated. I saw his efforts. I saw his remorse. But every time I thought about forgiving him, I remembered those 3 years. Doctors, hormones, tears, feelings of inadequacy. And he was silent. He looked, he hugged, he lied. How can I forgive this? Update 1. 7 months later, my decision. 7 months have passed since that day in the office parking lot. I'm 9 months pregnant. The baby is due in 2 weeks. The divorce is still pending. We're working on a custody agreement with the lawyers. Daniel continued his efforts all these months. He saw a psychologist. He didn't miss a single session for 4 months. He showed me his notes when I agreed to meet. He read books about parenting. His apartment was piled high with them. What to expect in the first year, how to be a good father, parenting without yelling. He bought everything for the baby, a crib, a stroller, a car seat. I set up a nursery in my apartment. I volunteered at a child care center every weekend. I learned to change diapers, bottle feed, and rock. I didn't prove it with words. I proved it with actions. Last week he asked to meet, not at home, at a cafe. Neutral territory. We sat across from each other. He looked tired, thinner, older. "Sarah, I know I don't deserve forgiveness," he began. "I know what I did was monstrous. For 3 years I watched your pain and remained silent. It's unforgivable." I remained silent. I listened. "But I want you to know, I've changed. Not because I was caught. Not because I'm afraid of losing you. Because I saw who I've become. A coward. A liar. A person who hurts the one he loves." His voice trembled. Therapy helped me understand. I was afraid of responsibility, afraid of no longer being the center of your world, afraid I wouldn't be a good father just like my father wasn't good to me. This was new. He never talked about his father. But fear is no excuse for lying. I had to tell you the truth. I had to be honest, even if it meant losing you. Tears streamed down his cheeks. I'm not asking you to come back to me. I'm not asking you to stop the divorce. I'm just asking you to give me a chance to be a father, a real father, to be a part of our child's life. You will be, I said quietly. The law gives you custody. I'm not talking about the law. I'm talking about us being a family. Not necessarily together, but a family. For our child's sake. I looked at him. I saw the sincerity. I saw the changes. But I also saw the pain of the last 7 months. Nights of tears, anger, a sense of betrayal. I need time, I finally said. Lots of time. Maybe years. Maybe never. I don't know if I can ever trust you again. I understand. I'm not promising forgiveness. I'm not promising we'll be together. I'm not promising the feelings will return. I'm not asking for promises. But, I paused. I agree to joint custody. Our child deserves to know his father. If you've truly changed, if you truly want to be a father, you'll have a chance. Daniel covered his face with his hands. His shoulders were shaking. Thank you, he whispered. I won't let you down, I promise. Promises mean nothing, Daniel, only actions. Prove it. I will, every day. We separated. The divorce is ongoing, but there was a glimmer of something. Not hope of reunion, but maybe of healing. Where am I now? I'm giving birth in 2 weeks. Daniel will be in the hospital. I gave my permission. He's the biological father, and if he wants to be there from the first moment of the child's life, that's his right. Have I forgiven him? No. 3 years of lies aren't erased by 7 months of therapy and volunteer work. The pain is still fresh. The wound still bleeds. Do I trust him? No. Trust is completely shattered. Maybe it will be restored. In years. Through small daily proofs of honesty. But not now. Do I want to go back to him as my husband? No. Not now. Maybe never. We're signing the divorce papers a month after the birth. But I see his efforts. I see the sincerity of his changes. And I'm giving him a chance to be a father. Not a husband. Not a partner. A father. We will be cohabitants in raising the child. Maybe friends. In time. Or maybe in years, when the wounds have healed, when trust is restored bit by bit. Maybe something more. But that's not a promise. It's just an open door. Not wide open, but not slammed shut either. Time will tell. A child isn't to blame for their parents' mistakes. They deserve the love of both. And I won't stand in their way if Daniel truly becomes the father he promises. Prove it, Daniel. Every day, every hour, every choice. And maybe someday, I'll be able to look at you without pain. My question for you. Reddit, here's my story. For 3 years, my husband watched me suffer from infertility, knowing he'd secretly sterilized himself. I accidentally got pregnant when my vasectomy failed due to recanalization. I filed for divorce. He's asking for forgiveness, wants a family, and is proving he's changed. My questions. 1. Is it right for me to get a divorce? Or should I give him a chance for the sake of the child? 2. Can 3 years of lies be forgiven? Or are some betrayals unforgivable? San. Are 7 months of therapy and change enough? Or is that too little for 3 years of deception? 4. Is it right for me to give him a chance to be a father but not a husband? Or will this create problems for the child? I don't know the right answers. I'm just taking it day by day, trying to make the decisions that are best for the child and for myself, because I matter too. My pain matters. My trust matters. And if Daniel truly wants a family, he'll have to earn it all over again. From scratch. stone by stone, day by day, postscript. For those who say, "Forgive him, he's changed," it's easy to give advice from the sidelines. Watching your partner suffer for 3 years and remaining silent isn't just a mistake, it's cruelty. PPS. For those who say, "A child needs both parents together," a child needs healthy parents, not parents who hate each other and pretend to be a family. PPS. Recanalization after a vasectomy is real. It occurs in 1 in 1,000 to 2,000 cases. If you've had a vasectomy, get a sperm analysis every year. Otherwise, you could accidentally become a father. PPS. Trust is easily destroyed and very difficult to restore, sometimes impossible. Think about this before lying to those you love. Thank you to everyone who read this far. I don't know what will happen next. I'm just living, day by day, one choice after another. Maybe I'll write an update in a year, or maybe I won't. We'll see.